Okay, so this is the box of the Nothing Phone 3A Pro, and this is the newer Nothing budget mid-range kind of phone, and I'm gonna unbox this phone. The thing is, this unboxing experience is very similar to what we have already seen on the older Nothing models, like the Nothing Phone 2A, I mean. And if you take the phone out of here, which is also wrapped in a paper, you will see the USB Type-C card, which, to be honest, is not as high-end or as good-looking as the older one, if you can remember. So it's no transparent, it's just cheap quality one. It feels like it. But then there is the SIM ejector pin, the way they do, it's the same kind of thing, so I'm not going to complain on that. You can see it kind of looks like a pill, but also there is a smaller, okay, whatever. So that's only it. There is no manual, no nothing else, and I really love that cleanliness in it. But there is no charger in the box, and you're not expecting it from a brand which somewhat takes Apple as the idol sometimes, and Apple doesn't do it, so how can you expect nothing to do it? But now I'm going to focus on the phone. This phone looks really gorgeous from the back, but the front look is very similar. I'm going to show you in a minute. The rear look is just really awesome, and that's why I actually bought it. I bought it as a gift to my wife. I mean, she will use it. I mean, if you look at the rear camera housing, it seems really big. Kind of reminds me of the Nokia Lumia 1020, to be honest. Massive camera island, but the camera setup is not that inspiring. It's a 50 megapixel main camera, the same as the Nothing Phone 2A. 50 megapixel periscope camera, a 3x camera, which is very unique and pretty cool. But it's a 1/1.95 inch sensor, and then there is the 8 megapixel ultra wide angle unit, which is a downgrade from the 50 megapixel unit found inside the Nothing Phone 2A. But there is a unique button, they call it Essential button, and I'm gonna talk about this weird button in my full review, not here. But there is the power button, the USB Type-C port, the speaker grill, and 2 nano SIM card slot. No SD card slot, and there is no headphone jack either. And there are the volume buttons. The disappointing parts to my wife are actually the headphone jack, or lack of it, and the SD card slot. Other than that, the experience of turning it on is very similar to the Nothing Phone 2A. I mean, I have seen it already, and it's the animations are really smooth and really cool and unique at the same time. Kind of robotic, but also very unique. It doesn't copy Apple, Samsung, or anyone else, which is really cool. But you have to put a SIM card in to get to any place, which is very weird on Nothing phones. Like, you have to put a SIM card just to do the basic setup. No other phone does that. But once you do that, you can skip everything, even the Google account, like the way I did, and I went straight to the home screen. But look at these LED lights. I mean, they are brighter than the Nothing Phone 2A, but you don't really need that. The thing is, these are gimmicks to be specific, but I still like it that they're doing it. I press the Essential button to check out, and it just records the voice and do nothing else. A very absurd button. I mean, wish it was doing something like the action button, something more. But I will check out all of that in this, clip. Like, you can have a smart drawer now, like Apple. And they also have this pop-up window thing, which is very much similar to what you can see inside the Oppo phones or even OnePlus phones. Samsung does it differently. But also there are new features, new way to do it. They're cool. In the software department, I actually like Nothing OS because there are so many cool things, like this widget, this compass widget is pretty cool. Or you can have quick toggles pretty much on a widget on the home screen to do anything. Or you can have headphone widget. So many things are there, like really cool UI and really unique operating system. It's not a copy of other brands as much. I mean, it's surely taking some inspiration from Samsung or Apple, but at the same time, it does have a very unique control center, and I really like this new idea. But I really love the real look of it. It's just so cool. The optical fingerprint scanner is also pretty much same as the Nothing Phone 2A. It is not an improvement too much to my eyes, but as you can see, I can also do like lock screen widgets thing, which is not possible on many other Android devices, which is really cool that you can do on Nothing OS. You can actually put tons of widgets on displays, but a very specific area. You can't just move around everywhere, but very specific area, but you can have quite a few widgets over there. I really like this phone's looks and also this Nothing OS features. But other than that, as an owner of the Nothing Phone 2A, I don't see that much differences. I mean, even the MediaTek Dimensity 7200 Pro is still fairly good. It is better. The 7S Gen 3 on this new phone is way better in a variety of cases, but in day-to-day life, I don't see that much differences. But surely it does have Cortex A720 cores rather than A715, so it's a very big win. Even the GPU is a better one, but at the same time, it does offer protection of Panda Glass, whereas the Nothing Phone surprisingly had Gorilla Glass 5, and at the back it had plastic, which I really liked. Even in my review video, I said that. But this phone is actually glass. At least that's what we are hearing. Now, in terms of the screen, it's a massive improvement, but the bezel size hasn't improved at all. It's 88% screen to body ratio, but yeah, you can say sudden bit of improvement, like 87.6 to 88%, but hey, that's probably it. The technology has improved. It's now 1300 nits of high manual brightness, which was the peak brightness of the Nothing Phone 2A, and now the peak brightness is 3000 units, which I will test out in my review video. But the 120 Hz refresh rate, everything else, very similar. Even the battery, the charging is slightly better, but I don't see why I would be like so happy about it, because the last one was pretty good too. But yeah, the battery life is something that I will test out in a next video. So that's pretty interesting. But this phone is actually way more costly than that phone. That phone was launched in certain markets at $349. In my market, it was $260 something. But this phone is now well over $400. And in my market, it's close to $310 if you take the bank discounts and stuff like that. So overall, this phone is way more costlier than what the Nothing Phone 2A offered, but then there is the Nothing Phone 3A, which is seemingly a very tiny of an improvement in few cases. But I'm also confused about this phone versus the Nothing Phone 3A. I mean, like, what's the pro thing here? But I will talk about all of that in my review video, so you can come back to this channel later, or you can subscribe. But you let me know in the comments, if you have upgraded from the last year's Nothing Phone 2A, then how big of an improvement it is. And if you haven't upgraded from another phone, you just bought it, then what's your experiences are with the operating system as well as the phone.
And yes, if you feel like you need some really cool wallpapers for your devices, whether it's a tablet or a smartphone or even a laptop, well, I have some crazy cool 8K wallpapers, stunning designs, and amazing colors. Visit my website, joindavid.com, link down below. And until the next one, bye and take care.